Cheers, everybody. We are back. It is Bourbon on a Budget, and we are here to review some whiskey tonight. We're not reviewing bourbon. We're reviewing whiskey. Oh, man.
Ooh, good what pop. A pop.
Good
pop. That was a great cork pop. Ben, you previewed this on the last episode.
Yes.
Talk to us.
As good as the cork pop was, the cork putting back into the bottle.
The cork insertion. Yeah.
Don't say that.
Please don't say that word on here. Ben, talk to us about what we're reviewing tonight.
Tonight, we have got a store pick. A store pick by Liquor Depot here in Tampa. If you guys are in Tampa and you don't shop here, they have some great store picks. So tonight we're doing light whiskey. Not only is it just regular light whiskey, it is hazardous material. Can't fly on the airlines. TSA disapproved. You know why? Because it's 140 proof. 140.4. Even got that sweet little hazardous material logo. Brendan, how do you like this one? Have you been trying this? Oh, wait, you can't.
If you don't remember or didn't tune into our Tuesday show, Brendan has the Rona, and so he will not
This
be
would
partaking.
actually cure it.
Yeah, it actually probably would.
I was going to say, I think that may actually kill me if I were to try that right now.
That might actually work. I mean, we try everything else, like whatever, like all the home remedies that people are using and stuff, like essential oils and stuff. Brendan and Joe and I were in a group chat about that this week. So anyway, light whiskey. Let's jump into it. Brendan, what are you? Oh,
I'm trying to.
What are you?
What's Brendan pretending to smell?
I poured something to try to just for the prop of it, just to see if I could smell it. It smells sweet, kind of, at the very end of it.
That's great.
That's all I got.
Brendan, since you can't even, contribute to any of this, how about you just give us a little history lesson? Give us a little breakdown of light whiskey, because, me and TJ are drinking. You're just sitting there like, tail between your legs doing nothing.
I did a lot of painstaking research to find this out. So give me a second here. So light whiskey, as opposed to, is its own category under whiskey. So it's not a bourbon. It is a light whiskey. The middle of the 20th century was not a great time to be an American whiskey maker, apparently. In the 1960s, U.S. drinkers began to move away from bourbon and rye and gravitate towards lighter spirits such as gin, vodka, blended imported whiskey distilled to higher proof, aged in used casks. In response, the federal government created a new category in 1968 called light whiskey. It is defined as a whiskey distilled to higher than, that's not distracting at all, Ben, to higher than 160 proof and lower than 190 proof, and aged in used or uncharred new oak containers. So bourbon is obviously finished in charred oak. New charred oak, so this is different. This is aged in uncharred, so that's part of the difference there. It's a little different.
Let's jump into it. Ben, what are you picking up on the nose?
Ooh, the nose. I get like egg.
Wait. Let's back up. How much did this cost? We talked about this before we get into it.
This was, I want to say, $69.99.
I thought it was 60. I thought it was $59.99.
$59.99.
You're right. $60.
You're right. It was 60 because the other two were So this was $59.99. This is actually just this barrel that Liquor Depot chose. This is a 13-year-old light whiskey, so it is really, really. It's a decently aged product.
So 13 years and 140 proof at $60 to $70,
and a store pick.
Also, since it's such a high proof, they only got 104 bottles out of this barrel. So it's very, very small selection on this. So overall, pretty solid deal in my head.
All right, tell me about the nose. Sorry,
I get So I get less of a vanilla, and I think that just because I think it's because it's used oak, right? I get like
easy for you to say.
Yeah. I get like a almost like an egg custard, a little bit of like caramel, but like I don't know why I'm getting eggy custard, but it's like a rice pudding kind of that kind of sense.
I like that. I was gonna go with kind of a creme brulee. That was kind of what I was thinking. It's very sweet. I hate to use this word.
It's gonna start with an S.
No, L.
Love.
It's
Don't give me the loser sign.
I know that the name is that. It's a very
Light.
light scent.
Don't.
It's
Ah.
not, but it's not as heavy of a scent as a lot of bourbons are. Where bourbons
Perhaps-
just smack you in the
perhaps-
face with like
Yeah.
caramel and vanilla,
Delicate.
and it's much. I hate to use that because it's the title or the name, but it's not as strong of a scent. But I do pick a lot of that up. And when you think about like eggs or a rice pudding or a what did I say?
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee. Those are not like overwhelming. They're, creme brulee is much different than a salted caramel, right? Or a,
Right.
cheesecake or something like that. Like it's much, much more, I don't say muted because the smell is there, but maybe muted is a good word as opposed to light. So
Delicate.
Delicate.
Refined.
Delicate.
Refined. Mm.
yeah, it's a good nose though. It's pleasant, right?
Oh, I really like this.
Ben
It's-
throwing the word egg out there though is throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, you're thinking like sulfur egg. I'm thinking custard egg.
Right, like egg custard. I
Like-
think banana cream, something like that. Not banana, but like something like that.
Like the
Yeah.
inside of an eclair, that kind of egg.
tapioca.
Yeah, have you ever had a
Tapioca
little
pudding?
egg custard kind of like quiche thing? You know?
No,
Sweet.
I was thinking
Oh,
like
yeah.
He's thinking scrambled eggs, and it's messing him up.
Yeah. You're
Not that
wrong.
he can smell those.
Yeah,
eggs.
not that you can smell or taste any of those. So.
So, all right, taste. Let's taste it. Have you been tasting? I took a little taste. Go ahead.
See, to me, this is where like the delicate, light palate is, or nose is reinforced with like the same on the palate. For being 140 proof, this drink's way less than what you expect. We talked
That's
in
why
our
I
first
filled-
show.
That's why I filled my glass.
Yeah, fill it up. Yeah, we talked in our first show of this 132 proof Jack Daniel's single barrel strength bourbon, and that drink's considerably hotter and more heavy than this kind of like light whiskey. And I think that just goes back to it going out of, or being poured out of used oak barrels, because a lot of that vanilla caramel flavor has been used up on the first pour, right? Or on the first distillate. And now we're here with just a little bit. And so if you don't like a really heavy chew on some of your older bourbons, a light whiskey may give you the opportunity for a little more delicate notes, light notes, but also bring the punch that we like, high proof, right? 140. So this is big boy.
Good flavor on this, and good is subjective. That's not good. I'll fix that.
Yeah,
But,
really descriptive like that.
But it's a pleasant flavor. It does drink lower than the 140. Still a lot of the sweetness that you'd get with that. It's consistent. I'd say that a lot of those flavors that we said that we were picking up, a creme brulee, a creamy
Mhm.
pudding type feel or vibe to it. I'll say this as well. It is very much like if you've ever tried Knob Creek 12, which kind of, and again with the year.
Right.
With the higher age statement, it's thick. It's got we've talked about this. Brendan loves viscosity. He loves mouthfeel.
Mouthfeel.
It's very, and that almost sounded like we had like Brendan wasn't really here and I just punched like a soundboard, because those were perfect. I wish you could do it again, but you'd never be able to do it again that good on key. It has to be the Rhoda. So push it
Terrible.
But it's very thick. It sits heavy.
Really?
Not as far as like it's hard to drink or the proof is hard. I just think it's very thick and it kind of lingers in that direction. So I think and that goes kind of right into the finish. I think it finishes really well because of that thick viscosity, that thick mouthfeel, because of the age that is on this. Very similar to that Knob Creek 12, if you've ever had that as a point of reference. So, but I like it. I think it's, again, hate this, but it's good. I enjoy this a ton.
Yeah.
That kind of wrapped up my finish too, though. I think it lingers well. I want to come back to me on finish because I need to like have it finished one more time. But what do you think, Ben?
To me, so I disagree completely on the heaviness, right? If you put this up against a George T. Stagg.
Let me take back on heaviness. I mean, thickness of the bourbon or the whiskey. I think it's very thick. It feels buttery. Buttery's maybe a better word.
Okay, I'll give you buttery.
That's where I'm going with heavy.
Yeah.
I don't mean heavy in a way of like it packs a punch. I know that's kind of the way you're interpreting it, but like I mean thickness as it's more buttery, it's chewier, it's thicker than what I, like other bourbon. So that's where I'm going with that buttery kind of viscosity. You're not getting that at all.
No,
well, you're wrong.
I feel like if you poured like a George T. Stagg and that has a super chewy mouthfeel, I think this would be the exact opposite of that.
Let me go do that.
It is. Yeah. Go pour your George T. Stagg, just Mr., do whatever you want. But I get considerably lighter on the mouthfeel. Let's talk about finish though. The finish turns into like a bitter oak kind of finish for me. I get sweetness through the nose, sweetness through the palate, but it finishes definitely like a bitter oak. It kind of bitters up at the finish for me.
I am amazed at how quickly you guys are drinking this, to the point of saying that it drinks much lighter proof than what it's at.
Dude,
you guys are running through this. It's impressive.
Well, Ben poured an entire Glencairn. See, I've obviously had too much. I can't even speak. But I don't know if that's the bourbon or just the fact that I am not good at speaky speak. So
yeah, we'll send us up to Brendan whenever he's can
maybe not. He probably won't like it.
So,
okay, let's rate it. Brendan.
Why do you rate this? just listening to us.
I can't contribute and run down the scoring system real quick if you would like.
Yeah, sure.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to smell this. Nothing. So for nose, it's going to be
that's
2
for
points.
Gasoline, actually.
Taste is going to be out of 4 points. Finish out of 1. Cohesiveness, complexity. We are going to. TJ changes to just cohesive, I think, on the score sheet because he hates cohesiveness. 1 point. Value overall 2, and that's out of 10 total. So we add all those together there and see what gets on the big board.
We'll go back and forth. This one, our first break. Well, we did do the Redbreast Cask Strength 12 year, so that was our first one that really broke the budget. I guess we also did the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, which is $55 and allocated, so breaks the budget a tad. This one definitely is breaking the budget at $60 and not a special edition episode. So let's jump into it. Ben, you want to go first on nose? You want me to go first? What do you want to do here? We'll go back and forth.
Yeah, you go first. You've never gone first in your life, so might as well.
That's not even true. His nose is really good, as subtle as it is. I give it a 1.5. I think it's good.
I don't disagree with you here. Like, you would think that they would just completely blow your nose out at 140 proof, but it smells very sweet.
Montana.
Yeah, I think 1.5 is probably correct.
I was about to start doing a Tony Montana impression, but then I realized it might be a little problematic in 2021.
And when the fact you can't smell anything anyway, like what are you going to do? Maybe they just think that was a Rona side effect. For those that are listening, go check out the YouTube later. Taste, man. Do you want me to go again? Do you want me to go first the whole time?
I'll go first now.
All right, very good.
Man, I enjoy the taste a lot. It's so sweet, so delicate, so light, not super chewy. But I'll give you buttery. Buttery is light, But anyway, I'm going 3. I'm probably going to go 3.5 here.
Whoa,
it's so strong. Whoa. I couldn't tell if I was going 3.25 or 3.5. Yeah, I'm going to dock it for finish, but I do like it for the taste.
Is that Ben? I'm going up there. I think that's Ben's highest.
It should be.
It absolutely is. It might be. I don't know if there's anything. I
have 3.25.
You have 3.25 on double rye. You have 3 on Russell's 10. You had 3.25 on Russell's 10 single barrel.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Brendan gave 3.5 to Smoke Wagon Small Batch, which you and I were both at 3s. He obviously was a homer there. Yeah, that's your highest, and we've never had a 3.75 or a 4. So again, that being really high.
Wow.
Man, I like this a lot too. I'm going 3.25.
Still a big score.
Very, very, very good. Probably just, I don't know that I do love it a lot. I'm a little more stingy tonight, but I'll go 3.25. Then I'll go into finish. We'll kind of keep snaking it back. Finish here. See, I don't. For those that are listening, I just took a sip. I think it gives me what I want on the finish. I'm going to 0.75 here. It's not complete. It's not 100%, but I think it's above average. So that's kind of the standard that I'm measuring by.
I'd say it's below average. I'm going 0.25 here. We're going to diverge a bit on here.
Cool. Cohesion and complexity. You can go here because I went first on the last one.
Complexity, yes. Cohesion, no. So I'm probably going to go 0.5.
So I think that it's definitely cohesive from the nose to the taste, finish as well. I'll give it cohesive, and I don't think it's super complex. I'll give it the 0.5 just for that. So 0.5 for both of us there. So going into value, I have it with a 6 and you have it with a 5.75. Two really good scores.
Solid. Yeah.
And we're talking that this is a pick that you could never get this, you'll never get this pick again, but let's remove that from our minds in our value. Let's just say any bottle of light whiskey that happens to be a pick, which is obviously going to be more common or more available to find than just the Liquor Depot one. So if this is a $60 bottle, not the easiest to find, but probably also not impossible. Like you can find this places. It didn't sell out immediately at Liquor Depot. It was there the next day and maybe a day or two after that. So it wasn't like a release.
Is there still bottles there? I
don't know. But if there are, I may go buy
another one.
If you do, go get two. It's that good. But so rare, but not incredibly rare. $60.
Yeah.
Thinking on our budget value, what are you giving it for value, Ben?
Man, so there's a lot of playing into this, right? In my head, it's one, I supported a local store, Liquor Depot, right? So check. That gives it like bonus points there. It's fun to drink. I think I've given this to probably 4 or 5 different people. And that's been a mix of like bourbon drinkers and non-bourbon drinkers. And this thing drinks so incredibly light in comparison to regular bourbon. It's crazy. Like I can give it to somebody like, oh, it doesn't burn that much. I'm like, that's 140 proof. You just can't tell. It's almost to the point where I can pour an entire other 750 of water into this and almost be bourbon. Like it's 70% alcohol. So like, I mean, it'd be ridiculous, right? So at $60, I'm probably at 1.25. Obviously above average, but still $60. So yeah, probably one and a half. I'm going to it. I think this is a great bottle. I'm going to pour this. Everyone's going to try this and everyone will like it. That's how much I enjoyed it. And it's going to be like 140 proof. Come on.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm between 1.25 and 1.5 when you consider the proof that you're getting and how you could slightly proof it down just a little bit and not lose much, if you needed to. A little bit will do you on this. This bottle will last you a long time because unless you're like Ben, you're not filling up Glencairns of it. Something that is unique and you can share with a lot of people. I think you talked me into a 1.5. Ben's the cheap guy on here. I can't be the one to not go with his lead. So,
good choice.
Bringing our final scores to Brendan a 0.
Yeah, thanks, Brendan. You're really dragging us down.
That's going to bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, hit that average. Ben with a 7.25 and myself with a 7.5. Our composite there. Thank you, Brendan, for putting the auto sum into the sheet for me since you weren't doing anything else this episode. Brings our composite for this slightly influenced. We'll need Brendan to do his own review of this once he's got his sensibilities back, and that'll be a solo review that I actually look forward to putting out. That'll be kind of fun.
Episode.
But that'll give us a more accurate composite. But as of now, we're giving this a 7.375. We'll just call it 7.4 to make it even. It would make the big board look up there. I guess it would go to number 4 on the big board, 7.375. It would be just under Old Forester 100, just above Double Rye. Here's the thing that we've talked about. We do bourbon on budget. A lot of the things we review are in that $20 to $40 range. We get outside of it from time to time, but there are really, really good buys outside of that. And for the value, I hate cliches, but Brendan works in sports. I do a lot in sports, but sports just are not synonymous with cliches. You get what you pay for, right? And sometimes you spend $60 on something and it's incredible. Sometimes you spend $60 on something and you regret it.
A grand slam with that analogy.
I love sports.
You don't even know. You didn't even get the pun that Brendan, whatever his name is, that Brendan just put in.
Rona boy over there. Am I right?
Whatever the hell.
Brendan really turned a double play there. Job, Brendan.
Nice triple.
It's
Brendan.
a slam dunk.
Alley oop.
That's the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Again, if you're just listening, you need to go watch the YouTube.
Yeah, Ben thinks you dunk a basketball in a way that you definitely don't dunk a bat. That's not.
Oh my gosh. That's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Hey, if you're listening to this, go to the YouTube channel, Bourbon on Budget. Just subscribe. You don't got to watch it on YouTube. Just go subscribe. Help us get up to the subscriber number that we deserve, which I don't know what that is, but help us get there. 7.375. That's a really good score for this. Again, a little bit more expensive bottle, but sometimes, again, you get what you pay for. So I'm excited to finish off the rest of my Glencairn of this. Might even pour a little bit more. Probably won't get up till 10 tomorrow morning, but I've enjoyed this. Check us out on social media. If you weren't around for episode 1 and you just checked out the review, we talked about breaking the budget. So go check that out on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcast. We'd appreciate you checking it out. And until next time, hopefully Brendan's back to enjoy some libations with us. TJ Pittenger, Ben Cock, and Brendan Snow for Bourbon on a Budget. See you guys next time. Cheers.